What's up, everybody? Ricky Caruth here. Welcome back to another episode of Real Coaching Real Time, where I take three agents from anywhere in the world, right? And I give them 10 to 15 minutes to basically pick my brain or, ask me anything that they want in the world. Okay. So this is episode number 4. And the first 3 episodes have went really well. It was all really great questions. It was really incredible content. I actually haven't been asked the same question twice so far. Again, I'll tell you guys again. I don't rehearse these questions. I don't know what they're going to ask. I don't want to know because you get a real answer. It's real coaching in real time. That's kind of how I came up with it. So. I'm going to bring each agent on here just a second, introduce themselves to you before we really get into it. If you guys would, go ahead and click subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications. Go to my podcast, give me a 5-star review there, all that good stuff. If you haven't joined the free coaching program, that's at 0 to diamond.com. Okay, guys, there's a 90-day action plan, and that's where it's all going down. And if you want to come on this show, all you have to do is text me. Okay. My new text number, it's 251-312-8844. Okay. Just text me there and say, I want to be on the show, man. And I will bring you on the show. Okay. So that's how that works. Outside of that, I linked a video below. It's one of my old videos. It's only a couple minutes long, but it's literally, I don't know. It's kind of an old video. So I don't think a lot of the newer subscribers have seen it. It's literally where a for sale by owner cusses me out. Okay, so it was one of my live call sessions, a for sale by owner call session, and I had one cuss me out. I actually called her back 3 times, I believe. So it's a pretty funny one. You guys go check that out when you get a chance. And I'm going to bring today's agents to introduce themselves. So first up, we got Serge. Serge.
What is up, Ricky? What's going on, man?
Man, I am just I'm living the dream, I guess. That's what they say anyway.
You and me both, man. I'm telling you, it's beautiful out there. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, man. Tell everybody your name, where you're from, how long you've been selling, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sergio Brado. I'm actually from Toronto, Canada, your neighbors to the north.
Nice.
Been doing real estate since... Well, it's been like 13, 14 years that I've been doing real estate. So it's been a little while. I got to be honest, not all those years have been full time. So kind of geared up the last 3-4 years doing it like full time. I'm with Royal LePage and kind of servicing the Toronto and Greater Toronto area and just loving every minute of it, man. If you guys want to check me out, my Instagram, it's Sergio Brado Real Estate. Check me out. I'd love to have you follow me, and I'll do the same, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man. And I've got all 3 agents on the show's contact information, Instagram, email, all that stuff in the description below. If you guys want to connect with any of today's guests, feel free to connect with them there and reach out and say hello, ask them a question, whatever the case may be, man. Good to see you, Serge. I'll see you in just a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Adam.
What's going on, Ricky? And what's going on, everybody watching?
What's up, man? Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, man, what you're about.
Doing good, doing great. My name is Adam Bilal out of Orlando, Central Florida. I'm 19. I'm in college as well, and I've been licensed since December of 2019, but only recently have I been really getting into the flow and working because I've been in school as well. Joined eXp Realty back in August, I believe, and I was with Century 21 for a while before that, and I'm excited for you guys to watch me grow and watch me improve as a person and as a real estate agent. So follow me at official Adam Bilal on Instagram, friend me on Facebook, same thing. You can find my YouTube channel. Link is in the description. It's just Adam Bilal, my first and last name. So Let's get to the rest.
Nice, bro. How old did you say you are?
19.
Man, dude, that's serious, bro. That is some serious stuff, man. I'm excited to hear your questions, man.
It is. Thank you.
John.
What's going on, Ricky? What's going on, everybody?
Oh, man. Like I said, bro, just one day at a time over here, bro.
Amen to that.
Yeah, tell
so
everybody who you are, man, and where you're from.
my name's John Kerfus. I'm a realtor in Toledo, Ohio. Yesterday was my 5-month anniversary selling real estate ever since taking my test. I sold 3 houses so far, got another one under contract. I thought I was the youngest guy here. I'm 20 years old and on track to sell $1 million worth of real estate before my 21st birthday. So
Wow,
put
dude.
that out there. I better hit that goal now.
Wow, bro. My gosh, man. You're going to hit $1 million in sales before your 21st birthday. Now, let me think back to my early days, 20 years old. Let's see, at the end of 2003. Let's see, 2003. Let's see, I was 20. Let's see, 2020. Yeah, yep. You're ahead of me, bro. You're ahead of me. I didn't hit $1 million in sales till I was, let's see, I was 22. Yeah, I was 22 before I hit $1 million. So you got a year on me, bro. Think about that for a second.
Well, hey, I like the sounds of that, Ricky.
Yeah. Just think, man, in 20 years, you'll be me.
That's the goal.
Cool, man. Good to meet you, man. Looking forward to chatting in just a second.
Nice meeting you, Ricky.
Cool. Serge, let's bring you back on, man.
Absolutely. I feel like an old man with these guys here, man. This is crazy.
Come on, bro. You can't be any more than 38.
God bless you, brother. 50, man. 50.
50. How's it feel?
It's fantastic, man. I feel like I'm 20. That's the truth.
I know, dude. I know. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I'm 39. I'll be 40 in May, and I feel pretty decent for sure.
Beautiful, brother. Fantastic. Well, look,
So
Ricky, man, I got like a 3-part question for you.
Okay.
And all of them really have to do with kind of follow up and conversion, right? So one of the things that I find really fascinating about you is your philosophy around conversion. And you kind of go against the mainstream coaching, which is really kind of pounding the follow up. You got to lead, follow up, and kind of beat it to death. And you kind of came around and say, well, look, man, that's really not the way to do it. Instead of spending all this time following up with a small amount of leads, just keep pounding the phones and create tons of leads. And, you'll get a much smaller percentage, but in the long run, you're going to do a lot more business. I mean, when you came up with this philosophy, you're not exactly an old guy, right? You're a younger agent when you came up with this. How did you come up with that philosophy? What made you think that was going to work?
Well, man, to be honest with you, I've said this before, and the thing is that when I'm trying to figure something out, and I'm trying to figure out how to be the best, right? I only have to learn a lesson one time. You don't have to teach me that lesson a second time, right? You show me how to lay shingles. You're going to show me one time exactly how it goes, and that's it. Leave me alone. I got it, right? So when I sit back and I watch other agents pounding the same prospects over and over again, when they could spend that, see, what I realize is that this business is accumulation of compounding efforts over time. And so if I'm spending time on one client, I'm not spending time on other clients. I can only spend that moment in time on one thing. It's either this client or more clients, right? Yeah. And so I sit back and I watch these agents pound the same clients over and over and over, and prospects over and over and over again. And it doesn't really change the results. If that prospect is going to buy and you made a great impression and you can stay in touch with them digitally or some other way, email or text, if they're going to buy, here's the way I see it, Serge. Pounding them away a lot of times will make them run away. Pounding them will make them run away a lot of times. That's the way I see it. See, I'm a very low pressure salesperson. I want to sell people on them doing what they want to do. People want to buy properties. Closings are happening every day by the truckloads. Obviously, people want to buy and sell properties. So why do I have to pound these people and make them? Why do I feel like I have to make people buy or sell properties? Why can't I just let people buy and sell properties? See what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so in my mind, Serge, if I can make a great first impression, well, they'll never forget me. And then I can follow that up with my weekly email forever. And then they really never forget me. Then I have a really great, chance of them coming back to me. Now, no system is going to work 100%. There's no system that's going to capture 100% of all the prospects. There's nothing out there that's going to capture every single lead and you close them. Nothing. So what you have to do, Serge, you have to figure out, okay, what's the best scenario and system and machine I can put in place that will put me in the best position to capture the most I can with the least amount of effort, showing people that I care to the highest level. I don't know, man. I want a business, Serge, where people call me, right? Eventually, you want to build a business that people are calling you. Why do you think I can do shows like this and podcasts and Zoom calls and make all these videos and coach and write books and travel and speak and still sell 100 properties every year? It's because I built the business up to that point, and now what? People are calling me. Why? Because I basically trained them. I mean, from the very beginning through the whole building of my career, I'm not following up, trying to pound them away. So they know how I operate. See, here's the thing, Serge. When they call me, if they want to know, let's just say they want to know what houses have sold in their neighborhood. Okay, they know they can call me about that, and I'm going to answer, and then I'm going to tell them the comps in their neighborhood without trying to get them to sell. But if they were to call probably any other agent in the area about what's the comps, they probably are a little hesitant to call because they know that most agents are going to be trying to handle objections and talk them into signing a listing and da 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 da. They know that they're calling me and it's like a friend or family type scenario, and they could call me and ask me anything. I'm not going to try to get them to do something. They'll let me know when they want to do something.
Perfect. So kind of going along that lines, I know that, when you're circle prospecting, you are going to run into people that are going to say they're going to want to sell within a 2 or 3 month period. And I know that you're advocating having that Google Sheets with a 90-day list, trying to get it up to 20, 30 people, which is great. I want to know how Ricky Carruth manages that list. Like, how often are you calling these people? What are you saying to them? And when do you take them off the list? So, if you call 5-6 times, they don't pick up, do you still keep them on the list, or do you take them off? What's your process behind that whole 90-day list?
The beauty of the list and the beauty of the business and the beauty of what I do and the beauty of the industry and 0 to diamond and the whole 9 yards here is that every situation is different, right? It's just like every agent situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. So, Serge, how can I tell you that this is the exact way that you follow up on every prospect, right? Okay, they want to buy or sell in the next 30 days. Here's the process, Serge. You call them this many times, you text them this many times, you email them this many times, and you put every prospect in a box, right? You put them all in a box and say, this is exactly how you handle every single situation. You can't do that. There's no one size fits all process for any of this. The way that you handle it, Serge, is that each situation, you understand each situation in terms of what's their motivation. Why do they want to buy or sell? Okay, they want to buy or sell in 3 months. Why? Why are they waiting 3 months? Oh, well, their daughter's graduating in 2 months, and then she's going to college. And so then they're going to downsize. Okay, that makes sense. Now I know why they're doing it. Now I can develop a strategy and a game plan, custom build a game plan for them that involves me as their agent and them as the buyers. And then we work together. We explain the strategy. Okay, since that's the case, do you want to go ahead and go look at a few properties? You want to go ahead and start, researching, figuring out what you can get for your dollar, locations. Do we want to start narrowing down? Because 3 months is pretty quick. Do we want to start the process? What's our price range? Are we pre-approved? Where are we on this? And then from there, it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to send you a list of properties. I'll text you when I send them and call you tomorrow to see what you think. Now you've set the expectations with them of what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and when we're supposed to talk again. See, when you set the expectations of when the follow-up is supposed to be, then everybody knows what to expect. The problem is agents are not setting expectations of when follow-up is going to happen. And so everybody's just floating in the wind and nobody knows when anybody's supposed to do anything. Then the agent is insecure and is scared to call because they don't know when they're supposed to call. And they don't want to catch them at a bad time. And then so they don't call for too long. And then by the time they do call, the prospect is mad because they feel like the agent left them hanging. And then we just get into this seesaw back and forth of a situation that could have been avoided from day one if we find out why they want to buy. When, why, what, here's the game plan. This is what we should do, Mr. Buyer. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. Let me tell you how I think this should go, and then we will execute. How does that sound?
That sounds great. So I guess you're following that whole family and friend effect pretty much, right? So
Yeah.
you're just treating them like family or your best friend, and you're kind of guiding your future expectations just based off every single conversation.
FE, man.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Now, I know that you depend on your weekly email quite a bit. In my market or where I cater to, there's a lot of seniors, and some of them legitimately, not only do they not have, email, they don't have a computer or a cell phone, really. They just deal with landlines. So any tips or advice in terms of following up with people that maybe don't have a lot of the technology, but maybe they've expressed, like you've created that relationship. I know it's a tough one, right? But what are your thoughts around that? Do I just kind of like let that go and just once again, you know what, there's plenty of fish in the sea type thing? Or, do I want to continue trying to build on that relationship, even though fundamentally it's going to be kind of tough because we're only dealing with very limited lines of communication?
Well, that's my system, right? My system is a weekly email. So that's my system. That's how I build my business. If I'm not going to get your email, I don't really know how we can really stay in touch because I have to scale my business. And for me to schedule a call with you every 6 months is not scalable to me because I can't do that to 1,000 people. I have to have a scalable situation. Okay. We want to scale. And so for me, it's like, well, if they don't have an email address and they can't buy anything from Amazon, right? What does Amazon do?
Out of luck, I guess.
They don't sell them anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not a customer. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the flip side to it, Serge. They got an email address.
Yeah, I know, I hear you say that a lot, but I'm going to tell you, man, in my area, there's a lot of, ethnic, older, like my background is Italian. Believe me, these guys,
All you got to do is drive by their house midday and see how many Amazon boxes are on their front porch.
I love it.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And you have to call them and say, hey, I've seen some Amazon boxes on your front porch. You told me you didn't have an email address. How are you getting Amazon boxes, right?
Love it.
That's all you got to do. I mean, listen, man, I don't care how they try to sell it to you. That's like people are private. A lot. Especially the people you're talking about, they're probably just real private people. Yeah. They got an email address, bro. They have an email address. 100%. Now I remember doing some live calls with an agent, and I specifically remember that, thinking this person does not have an email address. I literally thought, because God rest her soul, God bless her. She was old, she was very elderly, and I could just tell she more than likely was probably telling us the truth. So I'm not saying that there's people that don't have email addresses, because it does exist, but it's not a epidemic, man. It's not like it's not like widespread. A lot of people don't have email addresses. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, back to your question. Hey, I have a system in place. This is how I operate. This is how I'll stay in touch with people. You know, if I remember to call you later, I'm not going to remember, because, like you say, there's the sea is too large. There's too many people in the world and in your specific market to go out, to talk to do business, to get emails, to run your business and do your system. I mean, it's just, there's no way for me to continue from that point. You know, it's just tough. It just makes it tough.
It does, man. I think for me, it's just a matter of kind of breaking out of old habits and just having the faith that, you know what, just sticking to the program is really the way to go. And if something falls by the wayside, it falls by the wayside. But I think that a lot of us, you know, and I don't want to speak to everyone on the call, but some people don't, you know, when stuff falls by the wayside, they feel uncomfortable with that. So maybe I just got to feel more comfortable with just letting stuff go. And it's like, you know what, there's business for everybody out there.
Yeah. Listen. As soon as you let that go, because here's the thing, everything works, right?
Yeah.
You know, everything works. You got door knocking, direct mail, social media, networking events, you know, calls, everything, you know, Zillow leads, fire leads, Facebook, everything works. Okay. Following up with people through text, following up with through phone calls, following up through a weekly email, following up through this, following up through that. It all works. Okay. But you have to focus on what you think are the top 2 or 3 things that are the most efficient, effective, scalable, productive things. Right. And you have to sacrifice when you can let go, because listen, guys, I know for a fact that I lose business because I'm not doing social media for my real estate business, right? That is a fact. Okay. But I'm also losing business because I'm not doing direct mail. I'm also losing business because I'm not door knocking. I'm also losing business because I'm not doing networking events. I'm also losing business because I don't meet people at grocery stores. I'm also losing business because I don't do Zillow leads. I'm also losing business because of all those activities, right? You're losing business in all those different avenues. You got to be okay with sacrificing losing business in these other avenues so that you can focus all of your energy on this one thing that is gold, right? This one golden activity that works for you, that allows you to scale your business. And what does that do? When you let go of the business that you might be losing elsewhere, what does that allow you to do? It allows you to scale even more, because now you're not worried and taking up mental capacity for the deals that you're losing. You're opening that space up in your brain to fill it up with more deals. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, man. So for me on my end, those are all the questions that I had. I just want to say thanks once again, man. You're a superstar. Appreciate you doing this. And I'm sure everyone else out there appreciates it, man. So just keep plugging away. We love it, man.
Absolutely, man. Really good questions. Good chatting with you for a second. Let's stay connected.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Let's bring Adam back out here, guys. And
Yes, sir.
and like I said from the beginnings, because a lot of more people came onto the live, I linked where a for sale by owner cussed me out. It's only a 2-minute video. It's really funny. I linked a video where a for sale by owner cussed me out. That was like 2 years ago. So a lot of new subscribers probably haven't seen that yet. I thought I'd share it with you guys. But Adam, what's up, man?
Not much. First question.
Okay.
So
Ready.
the cornerstone of your business and the real turning point for you where you really grew something sustainable and big and great is when you shifted your mindset from what can people do for me to what can I do for other people?
Yes.
How can you help other people and make their lives better through what you do? And I'm all for that. I'm completely on it. And I just love that approach. But as a brand new realtor, somebody who got his license in December through a course that wasn't particularly difficult, how can you get yourself into that feeling that you are truly able to offer something that they cannot get on their own, that they absolutely would need you for, and that you can absolutely help them?
Right. And it's a really good question. And it's a question that a lot of new agents struggle with because they just don't know what they don't know. right? And especially younger agents who you have two situations. You have that you're a new agent, which is tough even if you're in your 40s or 30s, but then you also have the fact that you're young. So you have two things that you're kind of looking at yourself in the mirror at, and you're thinking, man, I really don't have anything to offer anyone. You know what I mean? So I totally get your question, but let me reframe your mind for a second and really do a 180 with it, because it's really the exact opposite, right? And all this that you're talking about is literally just in your head. And if you would just believe what I'm fixing to tell you and just turn it around, really think opposite, the exact opposite of what you're thinking, I'm telling you, it'll open up so many doors for you so fast. And I really hope you get this. But, number one, as a new agent, I mean, let's just back up for a second. Closings are happening every day, right? And people are using real estate agents left and right, okay? Left and right. People are using real estate agents all day, every day. So first thing we need to realize is that people want to use real estate agents, okay? Your value is that you're doing the work that they don't want to do. You're helping them through the deal, okay? So understand that the value that you bring is the fact that you're doing the work that they don't want to do. You're the grunt worker, okay? You're doing the contract, you're getting the signs, you're dealing with the agents that want to show the properties, you're the middleman for the negotiations, you're dealing with the lender, the inspector, the lender, the title company, you're the appraisers, you're dealing with all this stuff that they don't have to deal with. You understand? So it's not your inexperience. It's not that they're looking for experience necessarily. Some people are, but it's not that that's what they're looking for necessarily. They're looking for somebody to do the work that they don't want to do. That's what they're paying you for. So you're willing to work, right?
Absolutely.
So there you go. That's the first thing that you're bringing them of value as as an agent, period. No matter if you're young, new, old, whatever, right? You're doing the work they don't want to do. So that's the first thing. So understand that you have value to bring them. Number one. Number two, listen, man, you need to use this whole young new agent thing to your advantage with prospects, right? You need to use it to your advantage because you have so much time on your hands. The more experienced agents like myself, I don't have any time on my hands. I can't do anything. I barely can even look at the market and keep up with what's the new listings and stuff like that. You, on the other hand, you can look at the new listings every single day. You're on top of the market. You probably know the market better than I do from a micro standpoint, right? Because you're in it every day looking at the hot sheet. I know it probably better on a macro level because I've been through, several crashes. I've seen it go up and down. I've sold so many properties. So I know it much better than you on a macro level, but you new agents have an opportunity to know it much better on a micro level. And the micro level is very valuable because you can bring there's new market information every day, right? So when a new listing hits, when a new closing hits, when something's pending, right then you can see it in real time. And when you bring that information to the public before anyone else, what does that do to you and your name? It makes you look like you're a master, right? You're a specialist. Okay. People view you as someone who is just in the game, professional, knowledgeable. You know what's up. You know what I mean? Can you hear me? Okay, so let me finish here. You got the fact that you have something to bring them. That's the fact that you want to work hard, you care about them, you want the best for people. Your intentions, right? To work hard and care about people and help them do what they want to do. That's your value that you bring. You have time on your hands, right? To do things like study the market better than anyone else. You know it inside and out every day as things happen. Okay. And when you're talking to a prospect, I want you to use the fact that you're young, you're hungry, you're going to work harder than anyone else. Okay. And you have time on your hands. You want to use that in the sales pitch of why they want to use you as an agent. Because it's like, hey, Mr. Buyer or Seller, you want to use me. And here's why, because You're my only deal. And I'm going to spend every waking hour making sure your deal goes real smooth. Right? And if you want Mr. 100 deal a year Ricky down the road, go down there and ask him where your deal is going to be on his priority list. I guarantee he's not going to tell you that he's going to work on just your deal every waking hour to make sure it goes super smooth, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. So think about all these things, man. I could tell you a lot more, but just think about these things and let them sink in and realize you're the king. You're the king, bro. Nobody can mess with you in terms of the time you have on your hands and the motivation, how hard you're going to work, how much you care about people, the market information coming through every day on MLS. You're the king, bro. Nobody can mess with you. See what I'm saying?
Exactly. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I actually got a follow-up question about what you were saying, comparing me to you.
Mm.
So you're at a stage in your career and life where you've got 100 deals a year pending going out, and you're basically a deal factory.
Mm.
So when people come to you, or when you call people and tell them that you're going to do the best job for them, what is your value proposition in that case? Because my goal is to get to that same plateau, that same area where I'm pumping out deals. But at that point, you can't tell every person that you're going to pay attention to them and that you're there for them and them only. Your goal at that point becomes the transaction and then staying friends with them.
Yeah.
So what exactly do you tell them now if you go on an appointment?
Well, right now the way that this is where you want to be. Okay. Imagine this.
Well, it's a good problem to have for sure.
Well, imagine this. You've worked so hard for a decade and a half, right? Nowadays you can do it in, 5 years instead of 15. Okay. You can get where I am in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That took me 15 years to get to. Why? Because number one, technology, right? And how fast we can communicate with people now. But number two, you've got me telling you exactly what to do step by step by step, right? To take you down the same path that I went down. You have so many advantages, man, so many advantages. But right now at this point in my career, I'm literally McDonald's. I'm literally an order taker, man. I'm literally just sitting there. People are driving through, picking out what condo they want on the menu. I'm like, okay, pull around, boom, give them their condo. That's basically how it is, because the people that do business with me now are all either past clients, referrals, or referrals of referrals. Okay. And so there's no value proposition. I've already done several deals with these buyers and sellers. They know what my value proposition is. I'm going to negotiate the hardest deal. I'm a hard-nosed negotiator, right? I'm going to go hard to get them the best deal possible, whether they're the buyer or the seller. And once we're under contract, I know exactly how to make the transaction very smooth. I know where the pain points are. I know what point I need to step in there and make something happen and make it go smooth for the client. And see, when we do a deal, my clients never really get any phone calls from me. There could be things going wrong, but I've got it handled. And I take that pressure off of my client's shoulders. You know what I mean? And so when they've experienced that, when they've experienced a deal like that, I tell them at the end of the deal, I'm like, hey, there was some crazy stuff going on there. I just didn't let you know because I didn't want you to freak out, but I took care of it. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
the deal, they're like, wow, that dude really did some stuff for us. They come back, and they know what the value proposition is at this point. If I'm talking to someone who found me online and they want to list their property, they've never met me before, they don't get my weekly emails, I've never done a deal with them, and they're literally interviewing 3 agents, right? One of those scenarios, okay? Somebody I've never talked to doesn't know me, okay? Which happens, right? It happens here and there. Not very often, but I'll get that here and there. And I go meet them and they'll tell me they're going to interview 3 or 4 different agents. What I do, man, is I sell it on the fact that, I'm going to work the hardest scenario, right? I try to show them through my tone and my questions how much I care about why they want to sell. I'm really asking them the deep questions to try to really connect with them. And here's the kicker, man. When I go to a listing appointment and walk out of a listing appointment, I'm not expecting to get the listing. I do my best to try to make the best impression to let them know how I'm going to take care of them. And then it's up to them, and that's out of your hands. So whatever the decision they make is going to be what they feel is the best decision for them, and that's the decision you should want them to make. See what I mean? So you have to really get out of the mindset of, being upset, let's say, when you don't get a listing or they picked a different agent. Man, there's so much business out there. Yeah, sure, it stings. I get it. It stings. I look at it, it listed it. Oh man, it stings. I get it. But just get numb to that. Try to replay the whole thing in your head. See if there's something you could tweak or make a little better on the next time. That's what it's all about. Getting a little better each time.
For sure. Appreciate it. Another question. So over the last 2 days, I've dialed probably around 160 numbers. Should be way more, personal family stuff, but I dialed 160 numbers. And out of those 160, got a couple wrong numbers, probably 80-90% no answers. But I came away with one email. So when you're calling in volume and you get some numbers like that, I feel like 1 out of 160 or so is really low. At what point do you realize, okay, maybe I'm not as good on the phone as I thought I was? Because I did feel like I was executing the scripts and the style of talking pretty well. But at what point do you realize that maybe it's not the numbers you're doing, but what you're doing on each call, and that you should work on how you're delivering things?
How many calls? Is this all the calls you've ever made?
Nah, just over the last 2 days.
All right. So how many calls have you ever made, you think?
Estimating
Like
probably
1,000?
probably 400.
Okay, 400. Great. So here's the thing, man. That is nothing, right? 400 calls is nothing. You haven't even begun to even start to understand how to make phone calls. You haven't even made a phone call, basically. See what I'm saying? Like you
Right.
literally haven't even made a phone call. Now you've taken the first step, which is to actually pick up the phone and dial, and that's great, right? And that is amazing. And you got to keep doing it. But understand that whatever happens in those first 400 calls, you can't even look at that data. That data that doesn't even exist, right? But let's talk about the 160, because you said about 80 or 90 were bad numbers or wrong numbers, right?
Yeah, I'd say the majority were just absolutely no answer, period. And then probably a couple, maybe 20 to 25 answers. And then it was a mixture of either wrong number or people who just hung
I
up right away.
understand. So listen to me. Are you using a dialer?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing, bro. Normally, here's the numbers across the board, and I'm talking about everywhere: Canada, New York, California, Miami, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, across the board. Okay, averages. You're going to talk to 10%. You make 100, you talk to 10. That's why you have a dialer. So you can blow through the numbers, you can blow through them and get to that good conversation. So when you tell me you dialed 160, okay, 10% of that's 16. And you're telling me you talked to 25. That is an incredibly great number of people that you talk to out of 160. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is what everyone has to deal with. Now, my numbers were even worse when I was hand dialing and looking up on Spokio.com and stuff. My numbers were worse than 10%. But I built my business into a monster, and I had to dial by hand. It took me 8 hours to dial 100 numbers. You can dial 100 numbers in an hour and a half with a dialer. So, man, listen, please understand that I started selling real estate when you're 1 year old. And I had to hand dial with my finger. Okay. You have it so made, bro. You have incredible data, far better than I had. And you have technology that lets you talk to people without even dialing with your finger. You just push a button and boom. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Please don't complain about this situation. And your pickup rate of 25 people, which may or may not be right. You're probably talking off the top of your head.
Yeah, I am.
But that number, if it's anywhere around 20, let's say, is above average. Now here's where we need to talk. Because when I'm evaluating a real estate agent's business, here's what I do. Okay. I look at how many listings, how many pendings and closings they have and all that. Okay. But that's kind of a real small part of the pie. I want to know that so I can kind of see what they did 3 months ago. Whatever you did 3 months ago is going to show up right now. So when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, based on this, now I know what they did 3 months ago. But what I really want to know is how many calls you're making. That tells me where your work ethic is. Then I want to know out of that, how many people you talked to. Okay. Out of that number, I want to know how many you connected with. So when I'm looking at these three numbers, I see number of calls represents to me work ethic. So I recognize you as having a strong work ethic, even though I feel like you just started and 400 calls is nothing. We'll see if you continue, right? We'll know in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, if you're still making calls, then I can start to say, yeah, he's a hard worker. Because a lot of people do this for, 2 months, 8 months, 6 months and quit. They worked hard up to that point and then they quit. That's not a hard worker. You're a hard worker when you do this for decades. But that tells me you're a hard worker, that number. And then out of the people that you talk to, how many you connected with, that tells me where your communication skills are. So if you talk to 20 people and you got one email address, that tells me, okay, we're hitting our numbers of how many people we need to get in front of. Okay. And so we don't need to work on that part of our business. What we need to work on is our communication skill level of our business in terms of this verbal communication to make people feel comfortable with us. And it all comes from probably the fact that you're younger, you're new, you don't have experience. And you've only made 400 calls. So, I mean, it's hard to, to all of a sudden be this super confident, experienced sounding real estate agent out of nowhere. So I get it. But that's really where it all lies. You know what I mean? Is you're hitting the right numbers. The number of bad numbers and all that is fine. None of that's the problem. The problem is your communication skills. So is this circle prospecting you're doing?
I actually recently really did the circle prospecting. Before, I was just calling whatever new FISBOs I can find.
No, I understand. This 160 is this circle prospecting we're talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want to role play real quick?
Why not?
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, I'm the homeowner. All right. Ring, ring, ring. Hello?
Hey, is this Mr. Caruth?
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Caruth, Adam Bilal, eXp Realty. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm good. Just enjoying the weather. It's been getting a lot cooler recently. You liking this?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey, didn't want to take up too much of your time here. I was just calling to let you know that we just had a couple new homes sell in the last month over in your subdivision. Didn't know if there was anything I could do for you.
Not at the moment.
Okay, hey, no problem. And I never really know until I call. But hey, if you ever did do something, is there somebody, an agent or a friend that you would have gone with?
No.
No? Okay, hey, no problem. Well, you never know. 5-10 years, your plans could change and you might want to do something. I'd love to stay in touch with you if that's the case. What's your best email?
Okay, perfect, man. So that's really good. Okay, that's really good. I'm gonna offer just a couple suggestions, and I think this is really gonna help you take your prospecting to another level. Okay. The first thing is something that you'll have to just work on as you make more calls. It's something that just won't happen overnight, and that is your tone, the speed of the voice, and stuff like that. It's just too fast here, too slow there. It's just kind of clunky, right? And that's just something you gotta smooth out. The more calls you make, the better you'll get. You need to pay attention when you're making calls and really listen to yourself, listen to them, and really try to get into a flow with the person, right? And so do that. Also, there was a couple times where you missed an entire word. You were like, I didn't know if there was something could do for you or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just me talking fast.
Yeah, let's slow it down and say full sentences, full words. You know what I mean? And pause in certain places, listen to how I say the transition from the weather. Okay, listen to the pauses. Listen to how my tone goes up. I accent certain things. It's like, okay, I got you. Well, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but a house around the corner just sold. Didn't know if there's anything in the world I could do for you today. See how I'm like up, down, pausing here, pausing there, breaking it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Does that like make it easier to process like for their brain
It
sort of?
does. It does. It makes it easier for them to process. It's soothing to their brain. They can process it correctly. It gives them time, and then they're able to respond. So slow it down. Also, when you ask for the email, this is so crucial, man. And I believe that this is why you're not getting emails. This one single thing. When you ask for the email, you're saying, hey, I'm sure 5 or 10 years down the road, you might change your mind or whatever. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to stay in touch. What's your email? Right?
Right.
Here's what you say. Hey, look, that's cool. Look, I never know, somewhere down the road, I'm sure you're going to do something. I'd love the opportunity to work with you when that day comes. Would it be okay if I stayed in touch with you? Okay. Remember that line, dude. Write that down and scribe it in your brain. Would it be all right if I stayed in touch with you? That's the line. Would it be all right if I stayed in touch with you? Would it be all right if I stayed in touch with you? Can I stay in touch with you? And then when they say yes, then say, great. What's a good email? So you make them commit to staying in touch before you ask for the email. See what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
See that then you're going to get it 9 times out of 10, because if you just say, what's your email? They're going to say, oh, no. But if you say, hey, would it be all right if I just stayed in touch with you? Then they're like, sure. They're thinking, oh, he's just going to call me from time to time, or he hasn't asked for any personal information or whatever. And, he seems like a nice guy. So they're going to say, sure. And then what? Cool. Great. What's a good email for you? Bam. I'm telling you, that part right there is gonna turn your entire business around. That part right there.
Gotcha. Thank you. One thing I did hear though, this was from another coach actually, or other sources, is that like when you ask for permission, it makes them more inclined to decline. That's why I felt like the assumptiveness was something that was beneficial. Like, is that just a case of two paths that both work, but it depends?
Listen,
Or how do you think of that?
look, number one, everything works, right? Number two, how much is that coach charging?
I believe 127 a month. It's Casella, Brian Casella.
A lot of money. A lot of a lot of okay. Look at whoever that is. Look at their sales. Okay. Look at how much they charge for coaching, right? And then come over here to Ricky's world and see, okay, what are Ricky's sales and what does he charge for coaching? Right? Listen, man, I come from a place, if you look at all the scripts that guy does, okay, and I can only imagine, okay, if someone's charging for coaching, they're trying to high pressure you into paying them for coaching that's going to teach you how to high pressure your prospects. That's the process of paid coaching. Now look at my business model. I coach you for free to try to help you capture your real estate prospects the same way. Let's help people. That's how you build a business, bro. Right? And so when you try to play these mind tricks, like don't do that because this or because that, listen, man, you just talked to 20 people and got one email address. Let's let you be the judge. You go out there, you do the same thing, call 160, talk to 20 people, do it my way, and come back and tell me how many email addresses you got. I promise you it's going to be a massive number compared to one.
Gotcha.
It's always good to try a bunch of different things. You know what I mean?
I see
what works, all that good stuff.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. Is that all my time or?
You got another question?
Yeah, I do have one more, and
Go for it.
Probably a relatively short one. So there's all kinds of high quality information on YouTube. You offer like this totally free coaching every day. You tell them exactly what to do and how. Why do you think that the success rate for this business hasn't changed, and probably for entrepreneurship in general? Because there's just so much info, and you're here telling 3 random people who signed up exactly what to do.
Because Because success, the process of success is so boring. Period. End of story. It's so boring. It is boring, bro, to get up at 4:30 and answer DMs for an hour and then work out and then get on the phone all day. And you do the same stuff every day. I mean, sure, the first 3 months are exciting. The first year is exciting. The second year is exciting. But who can hang in there the longest? Who can do those boring activities? Listen, man, when you get into making calls every day, you're gonna get to a point where you're having the same kind of conversations. It's the same old stuff, same reactions. One person cusses you out, 5 people love you. You know, it's the same thing every day, right? And you're going through the same stuff, but that's what success is made of. And people can't stomach two things. They can't stomach the boringness of it, and they can't stomach the losses. The amount of losses that it takes to succeed is mind-blowing. The amount of listings you lose, the amount of buyers that chose other agents, the amount of deals that fall through, you know, whatever, right? The losses, whatever you want to count as a loss, the amount of losses that it takes. Winners understand that it takes a massive amount of losses to be a huge champion, right? So there's two things. It's boring and basically you're a loser. So what does that mean? Successful people are boring losers. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why a lot of people don't succeed, because after 8 months, 16 months, 24 months, they're not seeing $1 million yet, and they feel like they've put 2 years in. They should be seeing something, and they don't realize that if they would have kept going, they would have got to the $1 million on year 6. But they quit on year 2 because they were only making 75,000. They didn't realize that 75 is going to turn into $1 million if they keep snowballing and accumulating relationships. But they quit. Dude, I really believe failure comes down to people can't handle losing at the level you have to lose to win. And people can't handle the monotonous, boring activities it takes to succeed long enough to actually see the results they want to see.
All right, sums it up nicely. Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it all.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff. Excited to see you grow, man.
I'm pretty excited too.
You better stay in touch with me, man. I want to hear about it. I want to hear the whole way, man. Let me know how it's going.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah. John, let's get you back out here, big guy.
Hey, what's going on, Ricky?
Oh, man. Like I said, bro, just doing my thing.
Amen to that. So I got a couple things to cover. I was doing some math here while the other guys were talking. I'm at 6. So I brought up, I'm trying to hit $1 million before my 21st. The 21st birthday is January 18th. So we got a little over 3 months to get there. I'm at $670,000 gross. After my one pending closes, I'm going to be at $167,500 average sale price.
Okay.
What would be your technique to ensure that I hit that $1 million plus before January 18th, 2021?
Okay. So just real quickly, let me process the numbers again. Run them through them one more time.
So after my one closes, my one pending, it's going to be 670,000 gross sales.
Okay.
Gross sales.
Okay.
Average sale price of 167,500.
167. Okay.
What would be your technique and your advice to
So
a
you're
newer
closing
agent like me?
so your average price in your market is 165,000.
That's what my average price.
Right. So your average price in your market, but you're closing one, your first deal, basically, right?
What was that?
Is it your first deal that you're closing?
Fourth.
Your fourth. So you got 4 deals that total 600.
670. Yes, sir.
Okay. 4 deals totaling 670.
Mm-hmm.
And your average price is 165. So basically you need 3 deals,
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 deals,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, as far as averages go. Listen, man, here's the dangerous part of this business, especially as a new agent. It is putting ourselves in these boxes where we're putting so much pressure on ourselves to hit a certain result, especially in the first year, the second year, the third year. It is just ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you need to look at it, man. And this is what I would do. Here's my advice. Between now and January 18th, that's the date you said, right? Between
Mm-hmm.
now and January 18th, what you want to do is go as hard as you can, right? You go as hard as you can, because here's the thing. If you go as hard as you can between now and January 18th, you might very well close a lot more than the $1 million. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. All right. Got some groceries being delivered. My dogs are going nuts. Can you hear them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going nuts. Anyway, hold on one second.
Take your time, Rick.
Hey, man. Calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy. So if you go as hard as you can, there's a good chance you might close more than the million, right?
Yes, sir.
On the other hand, you may not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but here's the kicker. When you go as hard as you can and not worry about results, the highest yield of results are going to happen from the highest amount of effort put in. So all you can do is put forth as much effort as you possibly can, and then the best results are going to naturally happen. And you can't control what those results are going to be. You know what I'm saying?
That's up to the client. That's up to the client if they want to hire
Well,
you.
it's just up to the universe. It's up to the universe, right? It's up to the universe. You don't have any control over the end result, really. You have control over how much effort we're going to put into this. Another thing is that when you look at your tax returns for 2020, when you look at your tax returns, you know, you're going to see a big old whatever you make, right? Whatever you made out of those sales, okay? Whatever that ends up being. But what you're not going to see on your tax returns is the knowledge that you gained in this first year of how to do real estate, which is worth what to you? What is the knowledge that you learned this first year actually worth to you in monetary value?
It's going to be worth potential income down the road.
How much? How much?
As much as I want it to be. If I want to be $1 million agent like you, Ricky, it's going to be worth $1 million. If I'm happy at six figures, it just depends on what you want it to be.
Millions of dollars. If you don't know how to do deals, you can't make the millions of dollars you can make doing the deals. You learned how to do deals this year. So you literally made millions of dollars this year. It's just not on your tax returns. The knowledge, you would have paid millions of dollars, right? Let's just say $1 million. I would pay $1 million to know how to do a real estate deal, because I know I can take that knowledge and go make millions of dollars. So you literally made millions of dollars. You literally made $1 million this year. You made $1 million, not sold $1 million. You made $1 million. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got that going for you. But here's the other part of it. How many relationships did we create in this first year? You know what I mean? That's worth even more millions to you later.
Hundreds.
Dude, the millions of dollars that you made through the knowledge of learning how to do a real estate deal and going through a transaction and the experience you got and the amount of relationships you accumulated this year, right, that are going to manifest into 10 or 20 deals a piece over the life of your career is worth millions. You made millions of dollars this first year. Okay. So let's take out, I got to close $1 million before January 18th. You can go ahead and tell everybody, I made millions this year. You can go ahead and tell. If you're just doing it for the clout, you know what I mean? If you're just doing it for the clout, all right, that I sold $1 million before I'm 21 or whatever your thing is, go ahead and post it online, bro. I made millions this year. Okay? Because that's what you did. See what I'm saying? So, but on the flip side, right? Let's hit that goal of $1 million in sales before January 18th. How are we going to do that? Going as hard as we can go until then and seeing if it comes out the other side.
Yeah. Can't predict tomorrow.
It's out of your hands, bro.
All you can work on is today.
That's it.
Second thing I want to touch base with you on is FSBOs. Kind of just what your technique when it comes to FSBOs is, because I understand I've seen a couple of your videos on FSBOs where, you got to treat them like a client, but it's not a cookie cutter situation. Sometimes the for sale by owner just needs to have someone to give you a phone call when the time comes, or maybe they just need someone to help them buy a house down the road or right now, just really dependent. How would you approach a FSBO on getting on how would you approach them, kind of your script, your language, and your thoughts on that?
For sale by owners, man, you should approach for sale by owners as a buyer lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should approach them as a buyer lead. You should call them up, tell them who you are, ask them, call them about the house. Is it still for sale? Tell me about it. They tell you all about it. They tell you how nice it is. You say, man, that sounds amazing. Why in the world would you ever sell that place? And then you get into the motivation. You kind of hear the story. You run through why they're selling. You probably end up knowing what they're looking to buy in the whole 9 yards. Then you have a complete overview of the entire situation. You pretty much know the house without seeing it. You know why they're selling it, what their story is. Now you can just dive in there and see where you fit inside that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How are you that piece in the puzzle?
Right.
In
right.
Puzzle.
And then you say, okay, if that's what you want to do, here's where I can help you. Bam. Do you have an agent that you're working with on that buy? Is there an agent you would list with it? If you do decide you might want to list it, you just try to figure out where you fit in that situation. And it may be nowhere, it may be somewhere, it may be nowhere. You don't know.
Okay. And then one last question when it comes to FSBOs. I've kind of changed, because that's where I've really found my bread and butter, is calling for sale by owners. And I ain't gonna lie to anybody, I'm calling them straight off Zillow. They put their house on Zillow, you're gonna hear from me, I guarantee it.
Right.
And I'm changing up my strategy. I'm changing up my technique. A few days before, still see me?
Yeah.
Awesome. A few days before I call them, I keep an eye on it. I shoot them a letter. I pull up the auditor's site. I see if they're living there. If they're not living there, I'll send it to the address they're living and see what's going on. And then a couple days after that, I'll give them a call, say, hey, it's John down at Remax Preferred. Wanted to make sure you got my letter. And it talks about, because I started taking a new technique for buyers, I'm keeping a list of for sale by owners that are paying commission for the buy side. So I say, hey, would you like to get on this list? Call me. I ask him about buyer's agent service and I ask him about seller's agent service. And I call him up and I say, hey, did you get my letter? What's your thoughts on that technique to for sale by owners, and would you change anything about it?
Man, listen, is it working?
A little bit. I just started it a couple weeks ago, so
Okay.
I don't have any real tangible results to speak of. I just changed it up a couple weeks ago.
Listen, man, this business is all about trying things, seeing what works, trying to figure it all out. You know what I mean? So, I can't sit here and say, oh, don't do that. To me, I can't do that because it's not a scalable activity for me, right? For me, I would rather just sit in a room and say, hey, this is Ricky over DXP. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm calling about the house. Is it still for sale? Tell me about the house. Cool. Well, look, why would you ever sell that beautiful place? They tell me everything. I'm like, oh, well, let me help you here. And then just kind of see where it goes. And now I haven't spent all this time and done these letters and done all this and done all that. I've just made a simple phone call, found out if there was an opportunity. There is or there isn't, and I'm moving on, right?
Yeah.
That's my style. That doesn't have to be your style. That doesn't have to be. A lot of people, I know people who have huge direct mail campaigns for expireds. It expires and then they put them on this drip campaign of direct mail. that that happens, every so often, and they get all this direct mail. And after so many weeks, like 12 weeks or whatever, then they call them. They've worn them up with all the direct mail, and then they call them. I know people that do that. You know what I mean? And it works really well for that agent, and they love it, and they crush it with it. So it's like, great, do what works. Do what works for you. So I can't sit here and tell you stop doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can only tell you what my style is and what I like to do and what I feel like I want to do. Just try it, see how you like it, and just think to yourself, can I maintain this long term? Can I do this long term? Can I scale this? Can I scale it? Can I do this to thousands of people? That's what you want. You want to have a business that is touching thousands of people, frequently, for the cheapest price, it's original, consistent content. So
Awesome. That's really it I got for you, Ricky. I don't have anything else. I mean, how much time we got?
where are you located?
Toledo, Ohio.
Ohio. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Cool.
Yes, sir.
And what company you with?
Remax Preferred Associates.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Cool, man. Well, cool. Well, everybody's got your information below.
Yeah. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at John Kerfus. Give me a reason to post more on there, guys. So go down there and follow me. Look forward to having y'all. And Ricky, it's been awesome being able to come on your show. I've been following you ever since I started my license back in November. So it's awesome to finally get to sit down and talk with you,
Absolutely.
face to face, kind of. And there comes the first Instagram follower.
There you go. Yeah, you guys go follow these three fine agents. Follow their journeys, and let them know what you thought. If you had a different spin on their question, let them know, and all that good stuff. So just want to say thanks to everybody that came on the show. You three agents, Serge, Adam, John, thank you guys so much. It was a blast. And for anybody watching, if you want to come on the show, just text me. Text me at my text number. I put it in the description, but it's 251-312-8844. Text me there and just say, hey, I want to be on the show, and I'll bring you on the show. It's real easy. And let me know what I can do to help you guys. I'm still answering all the Instagram DMs. I linked a video below of a for sale by owner cussing me out a couple years ago. I figured there were a lot of people that hadn't seen that video yet. It's just a 2-minute video, so just something fun. And I'm going to keep crushing it on this end. I want to see you guys do the same thing. So appreciate you guys so much. I'll be back Tuesday to do live calls with Shane Noblin. This guy's crushing it. He has like 17 listings or something like that. He just started circle prospecting back in May or something. So the dude is absolutely crushing it. So he'll be on Tuesday, and we'll be back right here next Thursday for another episode of Real Coaching in Real Time, episode number 5. So I'm looking forward to keeping all this going, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Let's go.